Before looking at the failures of liquid drop model, first we will cover a small topic which is the most stable isobar. So isobar are those nuclei which have same mass number but they can have different combination of protons and neutrons. So first of all we will find the expression for most stable isobar. So let's say we have 5 to 6 nuclei which have same mass number but they have different combinations of protons and neutrons, but there will be only some nuclei which will be stable and some nuclei will be most stable among those isobars. So first of all we will find the expression for the most stable isobar. So we have already looked at what is the mass of nucleus which has z number of protons and A is the total number of nucleons which are present in that nucleus. So mass of that nucleus is equal to Z times the mass of a single proton plus A minus Z, which is the neutron number, times the mass of one neutron minus binding energy divided by C square. So we are this expression is for mass, so we have divided energy by C square. So the binding energy expression, it has been found in the last lecture of semi-empirical mass formula. So we will just substitute the expression of binding energy over here. So we will get AB times capital A, this is the volume energy. Volume energy, it adds to the binding energy, so there is a plus sign, and minus the surface energy, minus the Coulomb energy, minus the asymmetric energy, and then there is pairing energy. So these surface, coulombs and asymmetric energy, they decrease the binding energy of a nucleus, so therefore they are subtracted from the binding energy. The last term over here is the pairing energy. So this pairing energy, it is assumed to be equal to 0 for odd Z and odd N nuclei, that is even odd nuclei and odd even nuclei. This pairing energy is assumed to be equal to 0, and the pairing energy, it is equal to plus delta, where delta is equal to, this is equal to AP divided by A power 3 by 4. So this you have to remember, divide by A power 3 by 4. So this delta, which is the pairing energy, this takes plus value, that is it increases the binding energy when the nucleus that we are considering, it is even nuclei, and when we are considering odd nuclei, that is which has odd number of protons and odd number of neutrons, so in that case pairing energy, it takes a negative value, that is it will decrease the binding energy. So over here one more thing is that the pairing energy, this pairing energy, it is plus delta, that is it increases the binding energy for the case of even nuclei, and it decreases the binding energy for the case of odd nuclei. So more binding energy means more stability. Therefore the even nuclei, it is more stable as compared to odd nuclei. Hence here the plus delta is for even and minus delta is for odd nuclei. So this binding energy, it is subtracted from the mass. In the mass expression we have minus binding energy. So if we have minus sign over here, so in the case of mass expression, plus delta will be for odd nuclei. That is the mass of the nucleus will be more for the case of odd nuclei, because we have already seen from a nucleus, when a nucleus is formed, energy is released from the nucleus, and more the energy is released, the mass of the nucleus, it decreases by the same amount. More the energy will be released means more is the mass defect, then the mass of the nucleus will decrease by more amount. So binding energy, if it is more, mass will decrease. So for the case of even nuclei, we increase the binding energy, that is we write plus delta for the case of even nuclei. So for the case of even nuclei, mass of the nucleus, in the expression of mass of the nucleus, we will get minus delta, and for the case of odd nuclei, the binding energy is decreased by minus delta. So in the case of odd nuclei, we use minus delta, and therefore in the case of mass of an odd nuclei, it is increased by plus delta amount. So this is the significance of the binding energy. Now we will multiply this whole expression by C square. So here on the left hand side we will simply get mass of the nucleus times c square, and we will multiply c square on the right hand side also. So here we have this whole expression, it will be multiplied by c square, and this c square it will get cancelled by the c square in the numerator. So we will simply get these expressions, and hence we will, here the signs they will be changed. So in this case you can either write plus over here and you can switch these signs, that is we can write plus over here and you can switch minus plus, plus minus, instead of plus minus you can write minus plus, and you have to write plus sign over there. And in case if you are writing minus sign over here, then this expression it will remain as it is. So we are looking for the most stable nuclei among all the members of isobaric family. So in an isobaric family there will be a lot of members will be there, that is a lot of nuclei will be present in an isobaric family, that is which has same mass number. So for a given value of capital A, that is for a given, let's say capital A is equal to 100. The total number of nucleons present in the nucleus is equal to 100. So for a given value of A, there are so many combinations of Z and N that we can make, that is Z and N, they can vary. For capital A is equal to 100, I can say that Z is equal to 40 and N is equal to 60. Or I can also say Z is equal to 45 and N will be equal to 55. So there are so many combinations of Z and N for a given value of capital A. But from all those combinations, there will be only few, a single or two nuclei, or two combinations that will make the most stable nuclei among all the members of isobaric family. So for maximum stability, that is we are looking for most stable nucleus. So for maximum stability, there will be a particular value of Z and N, or you can say particular combination of Z and N. So for maximum stability, if there is maximum stability, means there is maximum binding energy, and if there is maximum binding energy means the mass is minimum, as we have discussed over here. More the binding energy, lesser will be the mass of the nucleus. So maximum stability means maximum binding energy, so minimum mass, or you can say minimum mass times c square, or you can say this left hand side mass times c square, it should be minimum for the most stable isobar. So there are so many combinations that we can make for a particular value of capital A. Here we have capital A, here we have capital A here, and in every term we have capital A. So for a fixed value of capital A, there will be only one combination, a particular combination of Z and N, which will make up the most stable, or you can say which will make up the minimum value of M times C square. So for the case of minimum value of M times C square, we will have this expression. Now from where this expression arises, this is the derivative of M times C square with respect to the proton number. Derivative with respect to proton number, it must be equal to 0 for minimum M times C square. So this expression you do in mathematics, that for the minimum value of a particular function, we do the derivative of that particular function with respect to a variable, and then we put it equal to 0. So in this expression, capital A, it is constant. So this term will be constant, A times Mn. This will be constant, this will be a constant value, this will be constant, and in this last expression will be constant. So for a particular value of capital A, Z and N will vary, or you can simply say Z will vary, because if Z will vary, the neutron number will automatically vary. So for a given value of capital A, Z will vary. So therefore in this whole expression we have Z and capital A. And here we had capital N, we had replaced capital N in terms of A and Z, and we have written A minus 2Z whole square. So over here capital A is constant and the variable is capital Z. So now we have to look which value of capital Z will make this whole mass of the nucleus minimum. This is the expression for mass of the nucleus. So we have to look what value of capital Z. It will make this whole equation minimum. So therefore we do the derivative of mass times c square with respect to Z, and this should come out to be equal to 0 for the minimum value of Z. So first of all we do the derivative. So in the first expression we have Z times mp minus mn times c square. So you do the derivative of the first term, and this second term, this is a constant. So derivative with respect to Z, it will be equal to 0 because we are assuming capital A is constant, because we are looking for isobars. For isobars capital A is constant. So mp time minus mn times c square. So first expression's derivative with respect to Z will give you this term. Then the derivative of this term will give you 0. Then this term is also constant, this term is also constant. Then we have this Coulomb energy term. So derivative of this term with respect to Z, you can open this bracket, you will get Z square minus Z. So derivative of this expression, these are the constant values. So AC divided by A power 1 by 3, these are the constant values, and the derivative of this expression, that is Z square minus Z, this will be simply equal to 2Z minus 1. And then we have the asymmetric term. The derivative of this particular term will be equal to A times the asymmetric constant, this will remain as it is, then divide by capital A will remain as it is. So now we are going to do the derivative of A minus 2Z whole square with respect to Z. So this will be simply equal to 2 times A minus 2Z. The power will come in the front, so 2 times A minus 2Z, and the derivative of the term which is inside the bracket. So derivative of the term inside the bracket with respect to Z. So that will be simply minus 2. So this will be the expression for the dmc square by dz. So this is equal to 0. So we know that the mass of the proton, it is approximately equal to mass of neutron. So this term, it will be almost equal to 0, and hence this can be neglected. So we will open this bracket, we will get 2 times AC times capital Z divided by A power 1 by 3 minus AC divided by A power 1 by 3. This will be equal to, now we will open this asymmetric term, and you will simply get 4 times the asymmetric constant minus 8 times asymmetric term constant times Z divided by capital A. So you will solve this term, and then you will take it to the right hand side, you will get this expression. So this is the last equation that we had got. Now we are looking for a particular combination of proton and neutron number for a constant capital A, which is most stable isobar. So now we are going to find the expression for this proton. So we will take this term with Z, we will take this term on the left hand side, and we will get Z times 2AC divided by A power 1 by 3, then plus A times A asymmetric constant divided by capital A. This will be equal to 4 times this expression plus AC divided by A power 1 by 3. So we have just rearranged this equation, and we have taken the proton number outside the brackets. So we want to find the expression for this proton number, which is the most stable isobar. So this is the expression of proton number that we will get for the most stable isobar. So Z will be equal to 4 times, so it will be simply equal to this expression, divide by this whole term in bracket, which is 2AC divided by A power 1 by 3 plus 8 times. So this is the expression of the proton number. So this is the expression for proton number for most stable isobar. So the constant AC, it is approximately taken as 0.72 mega electron volt, and the asymmetric constant, it is taken approximately 23 mega electron volt. Okay, so these are the values of the asymmetric constant and the coulombs. and the constant that we get in Coulomb energy. So in this term, we will just rearrange the term. So this Coulomb's term constant, this constant is very less. As you can see, this is 0.72 and this is 23 mega electron volt. So in the numerator what we have, 4 times the symmetry constant, which is 4 times 23 mega electron volt, and we will have a Coulomb's constant divided by capital A. So this term, it will be almost negligible as compared to the first term in the numerator. So Z, it can be simply written approximately equal to. So in the question paper, if they ask you to derive the expression for the proton number, derive the expression for the proton number for the most stable isobar, so you can just finish the derivation at this particular point, and the further derivation is for the numerical purposes, when you have to find the exact number of the protons which make the most stable isobar. So Z, it will be approximately equal to 4 times this constant divided by 2AC divided by A power 1 by 3 plus 8 times divided by capital A. So in the numerator we cannot ignore this AC term. In the numerator it cannot be ignored, but in the denominator it cannot be ignored. In the numerator it can be ignored because it is quite negligible as compared to this first term. Now in this expression we will multiply and divide by capital A. So when we will multiply by capital A, we will get 4 times capital A times the symmetry constant divided by 2 times AC times A power 2 by 3 plus 8 times the symmetry constant. Now we will again multiply, we will divide by the symmetry constant in numerator, and we will divide by the symmetry constant in the denominator. So we will get 4A divided by 2AC by the symmetry constant times A power 2 by 3, it will remain as it is, plus we will get simply 8. Then we will take A by 2 common from the bracket, so we will get 4 divided by AC by AA into A power 2 by 3 plus 4. So now we have taken A by 2 common, so we have taken A outside from the numerator and we are taking 2 common from the denominator. So here we will be left with plus 4. Now we will multiply, or you can say we divide by 4 in the numerator and we divide by 4 in the denominator. So this will be equal to A by 2, 1 divided by AC by 4 times symmetry constant. So we are dividing by 4 in the numerator and we are dividing by 4 in the denominator. So we will get this expression, and here we will get plus 1. So when this AC value and the symmetry constant values, they are put together, because AC it is equal to 0.72 and the symmetry constant it is taken approximately 23 mega electron volt. So when you put these values, this will be equal to approximately equal to A by 2 times 1 divided by 1 plus 1 we have taken in the front, plus if you put the values of these constant, you will simply get 0.0078 A power 2 by 3. So this is the expression of the Z for the most stable isobar. That is, you can calculate for a particular isobar, for a particular number of capital A, which value of proton number is most stable. So you can put over here A is equal to 100, you can put A is equal to 4. So for the case of light nuclei, this term 0.0078 into A power 2 by 3, this term is very small. So for light nuclei, capital A will be small, and hence this term it will be also small. Therefore this can be approximately taken equal to 0 for the case of light nuclei. So we will be just left with 1 divided by 1 plus 0. So we will be left with Z is equal to A by 2. So therefore in case of light nuclei, the proton number it is almost half of the mass number. And for the case of heavier nuclei, that is heavier nuclei, or you can say ones 0.0078 a power 2 by 3, this term it becomes feasible, that is it starts contributing. So in that case this will be a finite term and hence cannot be ignored. So the denominator it will be larger than 1 and hence this whole expression it will be less than 1. The term in the bracket it will be less than 1 for the case of heavier nuclei, or you can say when this term it starts contributing. As you increase the value of capital A, this term it will start contributing and the numerator it will be greater than 1 and hence the whole fraction, this 1 divided by whole expression, it will be less than 1. So in that case the Z, the proton number it will start, or you can say Z it will be less than capital A divided by 2. So in that case the neutron number it will be more and the proton number it will be less than the half of the mass number and hence there will be more neutrons in that case. So this whole expression it is not given in Modern's book but it is in your syllabus and it is important from the examination point of view. The derivation of this expression is important and also the numericals that are based on this topic, they are also important. So you can either use this expression if in question paper you are asked to find the expression for the proton number for the most stable isobar, so you can just terminate your derivation up to this. So there is no need to do these calculations, these are just to simplify this expression. So if you are asked in the exam if you are asked in numericals to find the proton number and you are given a particular value of capital A, so for that you have to remember these constants. Either they might be given in the question paper or you have to remember these constants and you have to put these constant and the value of capital A which is given in the question paper. So you can find the corresponding proton number for the most stable isobar.